Ever notice how her smile fades? Just for a split second, when you mention another girl's name, you think it's innocent, casual. She probably doesn't even care, you tell yourself. But later, you catch her scrolling through that girl's Instagram, zooming in on every detail. Was that just in your head? Or did she really feel something? Here's the truth most guys never see. Women rarely admit jealousy directly, but it shows in subtle reactions, lingering glances, and silent comparisons. And odds are, you've already triggered her jealousy without even realizing it. Comment the last time you noticed a strange shift in her mood after you mentioned another girl. And stay till the end, because the sixth sign flips everything you thought you knew. You probably didn't think she noticed, but she did. The second you mentioned that other girl, the one from your gym or your office or your past, her eyes shifted, just slightly. Her smile tightened. Her laugh lost its rhythm. You didn't catch it then, because you weren't looking. But she was feeling. Jealousy is one of the most misunderstood emotions in relationships. It doesn't show up the way you expect it to. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's subtle. Like a flicker in her gaze, a change in her tone, or a random, almost out-of-nowhere comment she makes 3 days later about that funny coworker of yours. What most guys don't realize is that jealousy isn't just about attraction. It's about competition. Deep, instinctual, wired into our DNA competition. And for women, especially in the early stages of attraction, this shows up way before they ever admit they feel anything at all. Imagine this. You're talking to a girl you've been casually dating. It's light, fun, flirty. You're both laughing. And then you say something like, "Oh yeah, my friend Sarah said the exact same thing. She just gets my sense of humor. She keeps smiling, right? Maybe even laughs. But what you don't notice is that she hasn't blinked in a while. Her shoulders pulled back. And that smile, it's tighter now, forced. Inside, something just changed. She's asking herself, who is Sarah? Why does she get him? Why didn't he just laugh with me instead of bringing up some other girl? This is where jealousy starts. Not because she's insecure, not because she's possessive, but because you've unintentionally activated her primal fear that she's not the only one who gets access to you. See, women are highly tuned in the social hierarchy, even more than we think. And when you show signs that you're desired by others, or even just seen by others, it triggers something ancient. A need to secure her place. A need to measure herself against competition. Even if it's imaginary, she won't always tell you. She might not even admit it to herself. But trust me, the moment you activate jealousy, the game changes. She becomes more aware, more alert, more invested. Start watching for the signals, the tiny pauses, the micro expressions when other girls are mentioned. Jealousy isn't always a storm. Sometimes it's just a breeze. But you're the kind of guy who notices the wind before it turns into thunder. There's something magnetic about being admired. And here's the truth. Nothing triggers subtle jealousy faster than social proof. Picture this. You're at a party. You're just being yourself. Relaxed, playful, telling a story about that time you got stuck in an elevator and somehow charmed your way out of a fine. The room is laughing. Even that one friend who usually rolls her eyes can't help but giggle. You glance around and you notice her, the girl you've been talking to lately, watching. She's smiling, sure, but her eyes, they're scanning the room, watching who's laughing the loudest, who's leaning in closer, who's giving you that look. This is the first trigger most men never see. Social admiration. When others admire you, especially other women, it sets off an almost involuntary reaction inside her. She starts calculating. Where does she rank? How much of your attention does she really have? Could someone else take it away? You probably thought she was just enjoying the moment, but inside she's keeping score. It doesn't even have to be obvious. Imagine you casually drop this into conversation. Oh, you won't believe what happened. My coworker Lisa said she loves how I always stay calm under pressure. You're just sharing a compliment, right? But suddenly, her posture shifts. She leans back. She crosses her arms. Her smile fades for a second before she recovers with a half-hearted laugh. She's not mad. Not exactly. But in that moment, she's not thinking about your story anymore. She's thinking about Lisa, wondering what she looks like, if she's prettier, if she makes you laugh more. Women are incredibly perceptive about this. They can feel when another woman is trying to stake her claim, even if you don't see it. And the second they sense that others are admiring you, they can't help but feel a spark of jealousy, even if they try to hide it under playful teasing or calm indifference. It's subtle, but you'll notice it if you pay attention. She might suddenly shift the topic, or mention a guy who complimented her, or jokingly ask, "So, how many girls are you charming today?" That's not just casual conversation. That's her way of saying, "Don't forget, I'm watching too." Most guys miss this completely. They take her words at face value. They laugh it off, but you won't anymore. You'll start seeing it clearly, the shift in her energy when you're admired by others. The way her eyes linger a second longer. The questions that come later, disguised as jokes. Next time this happens, don't rush to reassure her. Just watch. Hold your ground. And remember, you're the prize being competed for. Watch how her mood shifts after you get a compliment from another woman. You'll see just how powerful social proof really is. You're sitting there, fully locked in, focused. Maybe it's your side hustle, a creative project, or something as simple as hitting the gym with relentless discipline. Hours pass, and you don't even glance at your phone. You're dialed in, chasing something bigger than yourself. Meanwhile, she's watching. At first, she says it's attractive. "I love how driven you are," she tells you with that sweet smile. And maybe she really means it, but underneath, something else is growing. A quiet, creeping tension she can't quite name. Jealousy. You see, every woman wants to feel like a priority. It's instinctual. It's ancient. When you channel your energy towards something other than her, when you devote your time, passion, and attention to something she can't control, it unsettles her. It triggers the feeling that she's no longer the center of your universe. Imagine this moment. You're canceling dinner plans because you've got a deadline. She says, "No worries. Do your thing." But a week later, she's suddenly distant, colder. She brings up how her friend's boyfriend always makes time, no matter how busy he gets. Her words seem innocent, but there's an edge there. She's comparing herself to your passion. Here's what most men don't realize. Jealousy isn't just about other people. It's about anything that takes you away from her emotionally. Your goals, your hobbies, your purpose. All of it can become a rival in her mind. And it makes sense. Because if you're fulfilled on your own, if you have something that excites you more than her presence, she starts to wonder, where do I even fit in? That's where the jealousy creeps in. Quietly. Not as anger, but as subtle resentment. She might not even know she's doing it, but suddenly, she's testing you. Taking longer to reply, becoming less available, pulling away just enough to see if you'll notice, to see if you'll chase. But here's the paradox most guys miss. The very thing that makes her jealous also makes you more attractive. Your passion is magnetic. Your focus is rare. Women can't help but be drawn to a man who is obsessed with something beyond her. You're not here to abandon your mission to make her comfortable. You're here to stay the course and let her adjust to your gravity. Next time you're immersed in your goals, Pay close attention. Does she suddenly start demanding more of your time? Does she act like she's competing with your work, even subtly? That's jealousy in its most disguised form. Don't apologize for it. Just recognize it for what it is. Proof that you're a man who has something worth chasing. You ever sit there, listening to her vent about something? Maybe her boss, a friend, or just life being unfair, and you feel that calm settle in. That unshakable stillness inside you, where you don't react wildly or match her emotional chaos. You just listen, quiet, unmoved. And in that moment, she hates it, not because she wants you to fix her problems, not because she's looking for answers, but because, deep down, she's testing something else entirely. She's testing her power over you. See, emotional control is one of the most underrated triggers of jealousy. Most guys don't even think about this one. They're too busy trying to be supportive, matching her mood, nodding excessively, or reacting to every twist in her story. They think that's what she wants. But what happens when you don't play that game? When you simply absorb the chaos without letting it shake you? Something primal ignites inside her. At first, she might seem annoyed. She accuse you of being cold or distant. She roll her eyes, maybe even sigh dramatically, hoping to get a rise out of you. But beneath that, jealousy is brewing, because what she's really feeling isn't anger. It's envy. Envy for the fact that you can control your emotions while she's swirling in hers. Envy that you're grounded. While she feels unstable, picture this. She's telling you about her friend who betrayed her trust. She's visibly upset, hoping you'll jump in, take sides, fuel the fire. But instead, you stay calm. You listen. You nod. Maybe you ask, how do you want to handle it? Suddenly, she looks away. Her lips tighten. Her arms cross. You probably think she's upset because you didn't support her enough. But what's really happening is that she's realizing she can't shake you. And that's terrifyingly attractive. Women are drawn to men who can't be emotionally swayed. It signals dominance, maturity, and control. But it also makes them feel slightly insecure, because it forces them to wonder, do I even affect him? Does he feel as deeply as I do? And that's where jealousy kicks in. She doesn't just want your attention. She wants to move you, to make you feel something for her. And when you show that you're not easily moved, she starts to crave it. Even more. You'll notice it after the conversation ends. She texts more often. She asks more personal questions. She tries to provoke little emotional reactions, teasing, testing, pushing your buttons just to see if she can make you crack. Most guys fall for it. They give in. They start reacting, but not you. Practice emotional stillness. Let her. Storms pass through you without pulling you into them. And when you do, watch carefully. See how she suddenly starts trying harder to get a response. That's jealousy, disguised as curiosity, masked as frustration, but driven by one thing, her desire to feel as in control as you are. There's a moment every man experiences, but almost none of them notice it as it's happening. You pull back just a little. You're not playing games, not trying to manipulate. Life simply gets busy. You've got plans, work, and maybe you're just taking time for yourself. So you don't text her back immediately. You don't jump to answer every ping on your phone. You're present elsewhere. And suddenly, her energy shifts. At first, she might act indifferent. She tells herself, it's fine. He's probably busy. But then, you see it. She starts watching your Instagram stories the second you post them. She's liking old posts she never liked before. Subtle things, but they aren't random. You've become scarce, and now you're on her mind. This is one of the most powerful hidden jealousy triggers. Emotional unavailability, paired with non-neediness. Most guys think women only get jealous when they're chasing another girl. But often, It's not about who you're chasing. It's about the fact that you're not chasing her. Imagine this. You respectfully cancel plans, saying you've got too much going on tonight. She replies with a polite, "No worries." Another time. But hours later, you check your phone, and there it is. A vague, passive-aggressive quote on her story. Something like, "If they wanted to, they would." Or maybe a song lyric that hits a little too close to home. Coincidence? Never. Inside. She's wrestling with a storm she won't admit. She's asking herself, why isn't he chasing me? Did I do something wrong? Is there someone else? And the more she thinks about it, the more obsessed she becomes with figuring it out. That's the paradox of distance. The moment you stop giving her all your attention, she starts craving it. Most guys get uncomfortable here. They rush back, afraid of losing her. They over-explain, apologize for being busy, or start chasing again. But not you. You understand that unavailability isn't a punishment. It's a filter. It reveals who's genuinely interested and who's only there. When you're convenient. Next time you find yourself tempted to over-explain your absence, don't. Instead, lean into the silence. Watch how she reacts. Does she suddenly start engaging more? Does she post more thirst traps or message you out of nowhere, just to see if you'll bite? That's jealousy, plain and simple, not always loud. Sometimes it shows up as passive posts or playful sarcasm. But the root is the same. She's trying to regain your attention. Remember this. The less available you are, the more attention she'll pay to your presence. There's something uniquely unsettling for a woman when she sees you at ease around other women. Not just talking to them, but comfortable with them. Effortless, relaxed. And most guys completely miss the jealousy this stirs up. Picture the scene. You're out at a casual gathering, maybe a friend's birthday or a weekend. Get together. You're standing by the bar, drink in hand, chatting with two female friends. You're laughing, telling stories, totally at ease. You don't fidget. You don't overthink it. You're just in your element. Now, somewhere across the room, she's watching. She's not making a scene. She doesn't storm over. No, she stays still. Arms crossed, eyes narrowed slightly, sipping her drink slower than usual. She's observing every detail, how close they stand to you, how often they laugh, the way you subtly lean in when one of them whispers something. And here's the thing, she's not just watching them. She's watching you. Watching how comfortable you are in that space. How effortless it looks for you to make women laugh. To connect without trying too hard. That's where the jealousy kicks in. It's not about whether you're doing anything wrong. It's about what it represents. To her, that ease you have around other women isn't just charm, it's competition. It's a reminder that you have options, that other women feel safe and relaxed around you. And that terrifies her, because now she has to ask herself, am I enough to keep his attention? Even if you're loyal, even if you've shown her nothing but respect. The sight of you effortlessly connecting with women taps into something primal, a deep fear of being replaced. You might notice it later. When you finally reconnect that night, she's distant, shorter with her words, maybe even a bit cold. When you ask if everything's all right, she brushes it off with something like, "Oh, I'm just tired." It was crowded in there, but you know better now. You can see through it. That wasn't about the crowd. That was about you. It's subtle, it's hidden, but it's jealousy all the same. And it often shows up as quiet withdrawal, her way of protecting herself from a threat she can't fully name. Most guys would panic here. They'd try to overcompensate, showering her with attention to smooth it over. But not you. You understand that this isn't a sign of something broken. It's a sign of something working. The fact that you can be socially fluid, charming, and comfortable around other women makes you rare. It shows confidence. It shows experience. And it shows that you're not the guy who crumbles under pressure. Next time you're around other women, don't dial yourself down. Don't over-explain. Simply notice what happens next. Does she suddenly become more physical with you? Does she grow distant, then reappear more affectionate later? That's jealousy. At work, silent, hidden, but powerful. This is the trigger most men never see coming. Because it doesn't involve another woman. It doesn't involve your status, your attention, or even your time. It involves your happiness. Imagine this. You're out with your friends, maybe. It's a road trip, a weekend getaway, or just a spontaneous night out. You're laughing, not the polite, shallow kind of laugh. The kind that bursts out of you. The kind that makes you forget your phone even exists. You're fully in the moment, not thinking about anyone who isn't there. And somewhere, she notices, maybe. She's scrolling through your posts, or watching a story you were casually tagged in. Or maybe she hears about it through a friend of a friend. However it happens, she sees you, smiling, glowing, genuinely alive. And something inside her tightens. At first, she tells herself it's nothing. He's just having fun. Good for him. That's what she says. But deep down, it stings. Because the harsh truth is, women, whether they realize it or not, often tie their sense of importance to how much of your happiness they believe they control. They want to feel like they add to your life, like they're the reason for that spark in your eyes. But when they see you radiating joy without them, they're forced to confront something uncomfortable. You're fine without them, and that's a terrifying realization. It's not because she's selfish or cruel. It's because your independent happiness threatens her sense of influence over you. Now, watch how it plays out. Maybe you post a photo from your trip. You're surrounded by friends, smiling wide. She sees it. Suddenly, she's colder in your messages. She replies slower, shorter, less warmth. And eventually, she drops the question that's not really a question at all. Looks like you were having a great time? Didn't think to invite me? It's innocent on the surface. But underneath, it's loaded with quiet jealousy. Because what she's really asking is, why don't you need me to be happy? Most guys panic here. They scramble to explain themselves. They apologize. They try to soothe the tension by promising to include her next time. But not you. You understand something deeper. You know that your happiness isn't something to apologize for. It's something to protect. The truth is, your ability to create joy independently, to live fully, even without her presence, isn't a weakness in your connection. It's a strength. One that forces her to reevaluate how much she values you. She might not admit it. She might even pull away for a while, trying to regain her balance. But soon enough, you'll notice. She'll come back around. A little softer, a little more curious, a little more invested. Because nothing triggers jealousy more deeply than realizing someone else doesn't need you to be happy, but chooses you anyway. So here's your next move. Start nurturing your own happiness intentionally. Not as a strategy, not as a game, but because it's who you are. Watch what happens. The moment she sees you thriving without her, everything changes. You become the man she can't stop thinking about. Because you're no longer someone she can control. You're simply the man who's free. So now you know. 6 hidden triggers that stir something deep inside her without you even trying. When others admire you, she feels the heat of competition. When you obsess over your goals, she quietly wonders where she ranks. When you stay calm and emotionally in control, she envies your stability. When you become scarce, she becomes hyper-aware of your absence. When you're charming around other women, she starts questioning her place. And when you're simply happy without her, that's when it hits hardest. These aren't tricks. They're truths. And the more you lean into them naturally, Unapologetically, the more you'll notice just how much power you've always had. Rewatch this video whenever you need a reminder. Study your own interactions closely, because the man who sees these signs is the man who's already ahead. And you're that man now.